Hey, I'm Fred Ferguson with the American Bus Association, and we're having a special discussion today with AARP, and we're trying to learn more about the 50 and over traveling public and how, ABA and our membership can better understand this important demographic and how we can, market and tailor our services to their needs. So I'm joined by a very special guest, Lana, who is going to introduce herself and AARP, and then we'll get started. So Lana, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Fred. Hi, my name is Lona Choi Allum. I am a senior research advisor with AARP Research, and I am the research lead for our fun and fulfillment portfolio, which focuses on, movies, entertainment, travel, social isolation, and loneliness. And just to share a little bit about AERP, we are focused on making sure that all people live with dignity and purpose. And we want to make sure that people 50 and older are empowered to choose how they live as they age. So it's a great opportunity to talk about how people can do that through travel.
One thing that's exciting about, getting to talk to you and learning more about AARP, the American Bus Association, our membership are bus operators, which makes sense. Obviously, it's in our name. But a big chunk of our membership are those companies and businesses who would benefit from a bus full of people. For example, many hotels are members of ours. The destinations, the attractions, think of aquariums, museums, national parks. But then all of the tour operators, the tour guides, the tour planners, they're also part of the ABA community. And what we found is, group travel is very unique. If you have a 55 person group that you're touring to this or that destination, you need to have a network of people who know how to work with you. How do you feed 55 people quickly? Bathroom breaks. Like, can you facilitate this many people getting off and using your facilities? Same with, overnight stays. And so I think one opportunity we have is really to explain the group travel industry and the way we are interconnected and the way that the bus operator is going to be working with a tour operator who's going to be working with, a group of hotel and other vendors that know how to manage big groups. And I think the other opportunity for us is we maybe get sharper with our own research. We do a lot of school groups, but also, as we've mentioned, a lot of 50 and older groups. And so understanding the needs of those different demographics is something that's a competitive advantage of ours. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to really market and share those capabilities with consumers who want to hire our members.
Right. I do think that group travel is probably underutilized, and that awareness and familiarity with organized group travel is limited. But what we do find as interest does rise when travelers are, presented with details about what that includes. In our study, we had asked a question about curated trips. And we found that although most either they may have heard about it, but didn't know details about it, or just never heard of the term before. But when we presented like a description of what that included, then well over half say that they would be interested in taking that type of trip in the future. And so we also learned that, for those interested in group travel, they're interested in guided group tours, education groups, adventure groups. And so I would say that marketing and education are probably needed to raise awareness about these types of trips.
Yeah, there's three terms that we've used in talking about the benefits of group travel. And a lot of your comments today, I think, ladder into each of these terms. One is affordability,
Mhm.
one is comfort, and then one is community.
Yes.
And when you think about just some of the things we've discussed, you get all of that in a guided group tour. It's typically more affordable. It can be more comfortable. Again, you don't have the 2 hours at the airport before you take off and the seats and all that. And then you get a greater sense of community because you're traveling with more people. So I think it's a tremendous opportunity for us. So another topic in the tourism industry is what's called the mega decade of events. And this touches on the 250th anniversary of America. This is the Route 66 centennial. This is the World Cup. This is the 2028 Olympics, then the 2032 Olympics in Salt Lake City. What are you hearing within, the 50 and over travel crowd? Are these events driving decisions? Is it on the radar, or is it not really a topic that's driving decisions?
Well, we definitely see that the peak travel time is usually the summer months. So like June through August. And so I think it aligns really nicely with these upcoming events. And once again, I also see these types of events as a great opportunity to connect with family and friends. Why not plan a family trip or a reunion around a once in a lifetime event? For those interested in group travel, it could be tailored to a major event like the World Cup or the 250th anniversary celebration. So again, the time of year that it's happening, it definitely would appeal to older travelers. I just want to stress again that, to keep in mind that people do want to socially connect. And, again, top motivating factor is to spend time with friends and family. And also the whole idea of just people want to relax and recharge, especially with an overwhelming majority who see the health benefits of travel. A good majority say that travel is good for their mental health and their physical health. And so, what better way to maintain that social connection than to, go on a summer vacation or a weekend getaway? Um, and whether it's a family reunion or celebrating a milestone, there's so many opportunities out there, and I think travel is a great way to facilitate those connections. So whether by air or by, ground travel, group travel, traveling by bus, it's nice to know that there are options for people depending on, you know, where they are in their, mobility and, where they want to explore.
It's obvious that you're well connected to your members and that you are representing your members extremely effectively. So I really just want to give you kudos. Your research is world class in a lot of ways. I've learned a ton. There's so many nuggets that I think we need to look at as our own organization to study, to analyze, that we can then, communicate out to our membership about, this really important demographic and what they're looking for, what drives their decision making, so that we can position, what we offer in ways that, help people to get out and about, because that's really what it's all about. It's connecting the people with the places that they want to go. And to me, that's the essence of group travel. Truly, thank you for doing this with us today.